To fold the dragon, we're going to start out with a blinched water bomb base. So orient the paper so the diagonal creases are valley folds, and then fold each corner into the center. Like so. Now we flip it this way around and fold ourselves a water bomb base. We are going to orient it so the loose ends are or the pointy end is facing away from us. And we're going to take this upper right edge and fold it into the center line. Like this. The same thing with the left side. Flip it around, do the same thing on the other side. Now unfold those. And here we're going to squash fold these flaps. So open this flap a little bit, stick your thumb in, and squash fold it, like that. Bring one layer from the left side to the right side, and do the same thing with this flap. Bring one layer from the right side to the left side, turn it over, and do the same thing on these two flaps. Now we have this situation, oriented so that the loose ends are away from us. And we're going to do the same sort of thing we did in folding the iris and the five-headed crane. We're going to take this upper right edge and the upper left edge and fold them into the center. Like this. And this. Flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Unfold those. And then do the same thing on the other two areas, or the other two matching areas. And unfold those. We're going to squash these areas here along the creases we already made, as well as the creases we are now creating. It's okay if it's not quite perfect. Turn it over. Same thing on this side. By the way, this is called a petal fold, this sequence of folds, because it's traditionally used for making the petals on flowers, as you saw in the iris. Okay. Now we're going to unfold those areas. This is the same as in the five-headed crane. There we go. Now we're going to grasp one of these loose layers and pull it out towards us and pop this center point outwards like that. Move this corner back down towards us and refold on these existing creases. And then squash this area. Okay. Now do the same thing on the other three sections. We now have this situation. We're going to raise this flap and squash the edges as we would in a bird base. Turn it around, same thing on this side. And same thing on these two sections as well. We're just folding mini bird bases here. Now, with each one of these flaps, the ones we folded up and squashed the sides in, I'm going to fold them down, and I'm going to turn the model this way so the loose ends are facing to the right side. I'm going to grab this flap, and I'm going to pull it to the right. Now what's going to happen here is a couple things. First of all, this is going to get extended that way, but we are also going to create a mountain fold that goes between this vertex here and this vertex here. So the mountain fold goes horizontally across that area of the paper. Like that. And then the same thing happens down here. Like this. Now, we have this three-dimensional thing that doesn't lie flat. We're going to form a rabbit ear inside this area of the paper. We're going to have a valley fold right about there, another valley fold right about here. Don't use these creases that already exist. We're not using those creases. We're just going to form that rabbit ear like this. Same thing on this side. Again, we're not using those existing creases. Okay? So what we end up with is this. See how that one flap is now probably about an inch longer than it was? Take one of these, I pull it this way. By the way, this is called spread sinking. Essentially, we're doing part of a sink. All right, so we're creating everything that a sink needs without actually doing the sink itself. And at the same time, we're making these two little rabbit ears. Okay. Now we turn. I'm going to orient it to where the loose points are facing away from me. I'm going to turn 1, 2, 3 layers from the right to the left. I turn them all around and take 1, 2, 3 layers from the right to the left as well to make it symmetrical. Now I'm going to do the same thing with these flaps. So I orient the model horizontally, pull the flaps, and spread sink this triangular area. If you need to get your finger in there, then that's fine too. You could use a pencil as well. Make sure it's dull, you don't want to poke a hole in your model. But you could use a pencil to reach in there and push out that mountain fold. There we go. And then create those little rabbit ears as well. Alright. Okay. So this flap that you don't, the flap that you don't extend will become the lower jaw. So you're going to fold this flap to the left side and then fold the model in half. Now we're going to take this front leg and see how it normally hinges right here, but by letting go of this flap we can actually get it to hinge right here. So we're just going to pull it this way. Now, inside we have this mountain fold. We're going to push that mountain fold down and create a valley fold that is perpendicular to the current mountain fold. So just like this. Okay, now we are going to open this flap. Like so. Now we're going to turn around and do the same thing on the other side. So we take a front leg, pull it to the right side, and then collapse this mountain fold. So we're just going to push down on that mountain fold. Push down on that mountain fold, which in turn extends this valley fold. So there's an existing valley fold here. It extends now through this section. And now we're just going to open this layer. Turn the model back to this side. Now from here, we're going to take this front leg and valley fold it down like this. That's going to cause this little bit to curve. That's okay. The model is no longer going to lie flat. So we're now folding essentially a 3D object. Now we're going to take this edge, fold it to the left, and that's going to cause the wing to come down like this. Okay? Now we turn it over and do the same thing on this side. So we valley fold the front leg downwards, valley fold this edge to the right, and the wing comes down. Again, the model will not lie flat. Now turn it around to this side again. We're going to make the hind legs now. So we take the hind leg here and inside reverse fold it. We're going to have 2 layers on this side of the reverse fold and 3 layers on the other side. So just inside reverse fold like this, and that's it. Now turn around and do the same thing on this side. Again, 2 layers in front, 3 layers behind. Alright. And let's turn it back to this side. Now, we're just going to slightly open the middle of the model, like this, and we're going to fold, just put a couple valley folds. They don't have to be precise. Going from approximately here to there. Again, there's really no set way of where to do this. All we need to do is thin out the tail just a little bit. And then do the same thing on this side. And then fold the model back in half. Now we're in this position. We can shape the wings just a little bit. We're going to outside reverse fold this front probably centimeter to an inch or so of the head and the lower jaw. So divide the layers evenly. Actually, you know what, if you divide them unevenly, yeah, that might lock them. If you divide the layers unevenly, I just now thought of that. I've been folding this thing for years, and anyways, I just now thought of that. Yeah, divide the layers unevenly, and outside reverse fold that point, like this. And that'll, let's see, if you divide the layers evenly, the model will want to unfold itself, but if you do it unevenly, like this, it holds itself together. Okay, that's a good idea. I wish I had thought of that like 13 years ago. anyways, now we're just going to shape the jaw a little bit. Just put a couple little crimps in it. Not that kind of crimp, not a wrinkle. Way to go, Tom. Just a little crimp. How about there? Alright, tweezers might be helpful here. Alright, so we have that lower jaw made. The back legs are shorter than the front legs. It's alright, I designed this when I was in middle school, so it's all good. And now we're going to fold. We're going to put a valley fold right here. So it's going to start right here at this vertex and come down to about right there. And that's just going to cause the wings to move forwards a little bit, like that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright. And then you can round the tail if you want, you can round the wings. I'll go ahead and round the tail. Or curl the tail. There we go. So now we've got a more rounded tail. We do the same thing with the wings. That's one wing. It's the other wing. And there is the finished dragon.